Hello everybody and welcome to the Canton Southern. This is my HO scale layout that I started 20 months ago after selling my N-scale Feather River route. In my mind I came up with a concept of a BNSF mainline getting over a mountain range and two modern short lines, one that went down to a port in the low-level farmlands, one that continued up the mountain to service lumber mills and other mountain type industries. We can start our tour today at the staging yard. I have 13 tracks. To the left is west, to the right is east. So trains will start and end in this staging yard. Here's the future engine servicing. Here's the classification yard. We have 8 classification tracks in the front. There are 3 arrival departure tracks and then 2 mainline tracks that bypass the yard in the back. As they exit the west end of the yard, they do a big U-turn under the platform there, coming back along here, which will be the intermodal yard, also known as the BNSF Logistics Park. And operators will load and unload their containers there. I couldn't move this post, so I ran the spur right through it. Called it Acme International, and there's our friend Wile E. Coyote splattered on the side. In fact, this passing siding is called Wiley siding. Continuing into single track territory, we go up the first herniated Helix, which, if you see, the top and bottom layers are 42-inch radius, and the 2 middle ones, where it's fully hidden, are 36-inch radius. This allows viewing the train more than just having all 4 levels hidden. So basically, the train only disappears for about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Here we go up into the mushroom, which is the coaling mining area. We have a ramp so that you don't watch your train and trip on the stairs. So we come up here. There's our intermodal train we ran yesterday. Now this is the coal marshalling yard. And we go down to the flood loader at the end, and empties will go through that, and the operator will put the coal loads in the empty hoppers. Ramping up the back there is a spur that goes down here to a taconite mine. It's actually going to be the beginning of one of the 2 short lines that will continue around the room. This is cliffside passing siding, just another place to pass trains. The Coalmont siding is over here where the double stack is, and the DPU at the back. As we go around here, taconite mine up on the right, we go into the second herniated Helix. And in this case, we're going down the hill. We just started some of the scenery. As you can see, the bottom and top visible areas will be scenic, just simple scenery. We come through a spot called Midway, just so the dispatcher can sense where the train is. As you can see, we have a lot of wiring. We're just about to turn on the signals. We're using a TCS control system. We have RR circuits, block detection, and signal controllers. So the wiring is a bit of a mess at the moment, but as we get it fully tested and working, we'll clean all that up and put the backdrop here. Here we have a mixed merchandise train. My trains are about 22 to 25 feet long, roughly about 30 cars, and all the passing sidings are 25 feet long. Here we have a beautiful concrete plant that a friend of mine, Rick, just finished, and basically first industry we have. And we're just laying out some of the track work to connect that to the Valley Springs switching area. This is the first of two major switching areas that the locals go to. Keeps a guy busy for a good part of an hour and a half or so. Our op sessions are 2 hours in the morning, a break for lunch, and 2 hours in the afternoon. So I try to make the local switching jobs fit into those 2-hour blocks. Here we're going back up out of the valley, just started some scenery, and I want 2 LDEs, layout design elements, of about 25 feet. So for those that don't know LDEs, that would be a 25-foot siding and 2 times that of just open running between those. A lot of people call it a negative space. It definitely helps with not having the end of your train in one city and the beginning in the other. We come around this peninsula. Basically, this is, I think, a cement plant. Could be, we could change it to something else, but this cement plant will then feed that concrete plant on the other side. Here we just go up to a raised platform about 9 inches up. And the reason for that is I have 2 switching areas on top of each other. So I wanted to be at a level where I could see all the turnouts. This is Crescent City on the bottom. The top bench work will be the future of that short line I mentioned a while back coming out of Colmont. And that I plan to get started on here in the next month or so. So this will be a job that keeps somebody busy. You'll note that the mushroom and here really isolate the operators. So in addition to a singular type, a linear type design, I wanted to also isolate operators to where, especially the guys doing switching, they would feel like they were not part of a whole bunch of trains running around, guys talking to them and all that. We continue around the single track. This will be a future, probably power plant, I think, in here to take some of that coal from way up there in the Colmont Hills. Here we come into an interchange with the other short line. And this short line is the one that goes down to the harbor. And basically, manifests come, drop off a block of cars, pick up a block of cars, and a dedicated crew with those engines there will take the trains and they go down. Let's just walk around. This is a swing gate. You can see the track there. So we go through the swing gate and past the dispatcher office right there. We use JRMI and CATs. And because we're running LCC, all of the hardware on the layout is on a single bus, and we can talk to each one separately. Very nice system. So we start here with the interchange. We come around the back side of this wall. So once again, the operator is isolated. He goes downhill here, give the effect of going down to a harbor. He comes around, you'll see the lighthouse suggests that it's getting close to the sea. Here we have a port facility, and basically on the right we export all sorts of general merchandise. Where the tank car is chemical exports. In the foreground we have grain exports, and where the coal cars are is coal exports. So these take and deliver or source and destination for all of those commodities via the short line, which interchanges them back to the BNSF. Go around the corner here and you can see we have a switching yard, small yard. At the end you'll see the third helix, and that's just a simple way of getting up to the top. On the right you'll see a future gravel industry, and then we have all sorts of other industries, starting here with the small town of Walnut Grove, which is more fruit packing and things like that. So we'll have a nice a cold storage there. And we slightly go uphill back toward where we started by the interchange. So now again, open running between those switching areas. We come into the end of the short line, which is the town of Canton. A few industries here, again suggesting the farm area, fertilizer plant, propane, and grain. And mainly the local will come up here, do its switching. The track short line ends there, and he goes back the other way. And usually that yard switcher down at the port is a dedicated port switcher. They own that switching, and then they interchange with the Canton Southern local, who then interchanges with the BNSF, as it is in the real world. So there you have it. That is the current status. All of that bench work along the top there will be that future short line, the mountain short line. At the very end of this peninsula, I plan to have a snow shed scene. I've always liked that on others. There you can see the start of the lighting valance, and of course the start of the front fascia. There you go. Hope you enjoyed. And today, by the way, is July 30th, 2026. See you down the rails.